This is So What Who Cares with Laura McCarville and Jeff Kolaski. Join us as we explore practical insights for an impractical mind. Anyway,
Okay.
so what? Who cares?
So what?
Who cares? We, like I said, are still on our series where we are taking questions or comments from our listeners and viewers and giving our take, our input, and just sort of talking through some of those things and seeing how that turns out. Coming into this without a lot of preparation besides the questions that were sent to us.
Mhm. And the years of education that would inform us some of the
Well, yeah, for
answers.
you, for sure, yeah. But as far as like preparing for these
Yeah, I'm
specific
not
ones, we're not.
right.
I don't think, unless you went and did a research paper before. Did you bring your research today?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Not
All right.
today. Let's hear it.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. I've been trying to date again after some major heartbreak, and I keep catching myself assuming people will leave me, ghost me, or betray me. What's the line between intuition and projection? Can you talk about trust after betrayal?
Man,
Where does that land with you?
so many things.
Yeah.
It's complex.
Mm-hmm.
It's like multiple parts I'm hearing.
Yep.
But one thing is that heartbreak is just
Heartbreaking.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And you really can't get out of it. It's the risk you take and it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
The option is to not be engaged in
Right.
in relationships that would
Right.
um so I'm sorry for the heartbreak
Mm-hmm.
and the recovery that and the what it takes to recover from heartbreak. Um so one thing I'm also hearing is trust.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad says, respect is given, trust is earned. And I think sometimes we come into the next connection and we haven't built trust, not with the other, but with ourselves. We haven't rebuilt the trust with ourselves
Mm-hmm.
because the betrayal happens and we can look out at that, but we don't really have access to that. We have
Right.
access to ourself. And we have to sort of offer or spend some time offering some self-love and forgiveness for the breach of boundaries and the
Mm-hmm.
things that led to the heartbreak.
For sure.
And so then we have go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's interesting that you mentioned that because in I connect with that when heartbreak a lot of the times in my experience it is more of an inward reflection than it is sure maybe you for a while or for maybe for eternity are a little bit bitter at another person or you put it there even if you do that, but a lot of the times it's like, why did I let myself do that? Why did I let myself fall for that? This is my experience.
Yeah.
Why did I let myself fall for that? Or why did I let myself um be okay with that or push that boundary? Or why did I let this person in when I should have kept a wall up? Or, those sort of
Mm.
things. Those are the type of things that I deal with when I've dealt with
I
this
would
sort of
I'm
thing.
gonna I'm gonna say that those why questions are really great to not just spin in your own head with, but to connect with people and your like higher counsel or your teachers, your coaches, your therapists of like, where's the why? Because we'll never get the clear thing because the ego has such a hold.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just spin out on the whys.
Mm.
Like, why did I why? And then we want to like go into that answer inside our own head. And I would say if you're catching yourself in a lot of whys, take it to someone, take it to outside of this.
Right.
Then the next step is like, okay, so the whys I'm going to take to my therapist,
Mm-hmm.
my friends, who like,
Mm-hmm.
why did, and then go like back to like, oh, so the next time that happens, I can trust myself to
Mm,
see it and to take different action. So then the next thing would be like, well, what would be the different action? Like,
right.
I would, here's the red flag you said, or
Mhm.
then it would be like, okay, trust yourself that you'll take the right action. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know then, and move towards how can I rebuild trust with myself to take different action when it's time to take different
So then
action.
speak to go ahead.
Yeah, go,
You
you go.
well, I was just gonna say this question says, "I keep catching myself assuming people will leave me, ghost me, or betray me."
Mhm.
Speak to that piece because this person is catching themselves.
Well, what followed, I think, is that they said, "What's intuition?"
What's the
And
line between intuition and projection?
yeah,
Right.
so if we're looking at like, I'm re-entering intimate
Mhm.
relationships, and I've gone to people with the whys. I
Mhm.
see my own patterns, maybe. Um, and maybe I've even gotten some relational skills
Mhm.
in that recovery of the heartbreak. I'm entering into something new. And now it's, is this projection or is this intuition?
Right.
And so if we understand projection as a protector,
Mhm.
that comes from either the conscious or the unconscious, because sometimes we're projecting and it's unconscious.
Mhm.
We don't know that this is a projection,
Mhm.
because it's so that part is, I think we have to kind of get onto ourselves a little bit.
Mm. And
Okay,
project
so
and when we're talking about projection, we're saying like I'm if it's like since this person's assuming this person's going to ghost me, I'm going to see any action that I'm going to be almost hyper focusing on like the fact that they're probably going to ghost me.
yeah,
So
you're
I'm kind
putting
of
on like,
I'm putting it on them when they haven't given really a reason for me to think that.
yeah, so it's like those
Glasses.
tinted
Yeah.
glass contacts.
Contacts.
It's like putting
Hey.
in tinted
Yeah.
contacts in this case. And then every person you see through that lens.
Mhm.
So if that's there,
Sure.
but here's like a story that comes out of rapid resolution therapy, and that's little boys playing the trombone, and there's a big accident,
Mhm.
and he's blowing his horn, and a bus hits a car, and it's like blah,
Mhm.
and he sees a lot of horrific things and takes cover, right? And then
Now every time he hears a trombone,
he ducks.
right.
Okay, so sometimes it's, and he doesn't know why he's ducking. He's
Mhm.
not saying, "Oh, it must be related to that accident."
Mhm.
But this will happen where we go, "Oh, I just have an intuitive feeling." And there's something that's
Mhm.
playing in the background of a time that something happened with someone who had the same color hair, same scent, a same cadence in the voice.
Or even just the fact that I'm dating, right? Can
And
be the trigger for
it
that,
could
right?
be, it could
Okay.
be. So this is, if we like go, okay, so the projection can come from the unconscious for that little boy who then
Mhm.
became an adult who ducks when he hears the trombone or something like this. Um, then we go, okay, that's the unconscious. So then we go into like, well, do I have a pattern of believing this about every intimate relationship I'm
Mhm.
entering? Hmm, you
Right.
know.
Mhm.
But the way to tell the difference between intuition and projection, there's a few ways, but and I say that with like a lot of like softness,
Okay.
but let's say conscious projection is the cadence in which the mind says it, the way in which the body feels it. So if I'm projecting, it's more like agenda, feeling, it's more
Mhm.
in the mind body.
Okay.
It's more of a nervous system response. It's more of like, well, what's my breath doing? What is the hurry, is there a hurriness or a shutdown?
Okay.
Is there a storytelling that takes me into the past? Like these are typically more more like projections
Okay.
than intuition. So intuition moves a lot slower. It could feel a lot deeper. And most of the time there's not a story.
Mm.
Does that make sense? It's
Yeah.
like a hit. So if we get the intuition, like, ooh, he's going to ghost me. Watch what happens next. Because now I'm in the storytelling and now I'm in the history and now I'm in the da 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 da
Mhm.
and the why and the and all and now I'm
Because
right like
everyone always does this
right,
to me,
right,
and I
right.
don't
So
yeah.
as soon as we go into the narration and the but if it's like, oof, he's gonna ghost me, and it feels more like then we move towards, well, have I given have I like thrown him into like, you get all my trust no matter what,
Mhm.
and it wasn't earned? Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
If trust is earned, then we can look back at actions and say, "Oh, here's where he showed up. Here's where he showed up. Oh, here's where he called me back. Oh, he's," and
Right.
you can actually go like, there's all these ways in which he was present.
Kind of reason yourself out of
And it's not like to talk yourself out of red flags
sure, yeah.
because we're
That's
not trying to do
no,
that,
no.
but we are trying to catch like the the body, mind, sort of sensation narrative
Mhm.
that feels different with projection than it does with intuition.
Mhm.
Does that land?
Yeah.
So so when entering into a new relationship, I would say the next thing is getting relational skills.
Mhm.
Because if if something's showing up again and you're like, is this projection? Is this intuition? Projection would be like, then it's time to use your words. Like,
Mm.
whoa,
So let's talk this through.
yeah,
Let's
let's
yeah,
communicate,
right.
and
A lot of
that's way different.
sure. I feel like this all sounds like I'm tracking with you, and at the same time, I'm going, but in the instances where a person is in the throes of a potential new romantic or intimate relationship of some way, there's a lot of other things firing at the same time that can really throw off, in my opinion, your ability to know what's the way that you just described all that sounds very reasonable,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm.
And
And betrayal trauma doesn't leave you with like a reasonable thinking mind.
right, and especially if you're bringing that into the butterflies in your stomach or
Oh,
excitement
yeah.
to, maybe this person is exciting to you and you're trying, you're exploring new, a new
Like
person or a new
also the new
relationship.
feelings and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gooey thing of
Right.
love.
So what are, you know, or even just attraction and, that,
Mm.
so you're dealing with a lot of things so it doesn't feel very reasonable. Where I mean it reminds me of any time, you know, kind of the age old people just ignore all the red flags for a long time. People just ignore all the things because they're caught up in this. I don't know, some of the things you talk about, I go, if I put myself into the early stages of relationships, I go, how the hell would I ever have found that level of like reasonable, you know?
I know, and love isn't there's so many things in the beginning stages
Yeah.
of love that are so unreasonable.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, that's really valid. All of this is great
Sure.
theory
Yeah.
until you put it into practice and you're
Practice is
like,
hard. Yeah.
"Whoa."
Yeah.
Which is why we go like, "Well, let me pause."
Mhm.
And this is where meditation
Mm.
this is where our like practices on a daily are really important. Our movement, our
Right.
clearing of the mind, our, you know, not consuming, ironically, not consuming all the information.
Mhm.
It's more of like, how am I daily living?
Mm.
And do I want to, I mean, that's a really valid, like, I fall hard and fast. Like, I
Mm.
love love, and I love being in love,
Yeah, it's
all
fun.
those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is fun. And and I know that that's a bit Pollyanna to sit with, like, I love it,
Mhm.
and even with multitudes of heartbreak,
Mhm.
I'm going to go through it again,
Right.
I heard someone once say, like, even in even in committed relationships, it's like learning how to hold your own heart when heartbreak happens.
Mm.
And I think that is the magical other, is sometimes what it's called. And James Hollis writes about, of like, sometimes what we are looking for inside intimate relationship comes back to the parent, and then even goes back to, like, the womb, of
Mhm.
like this desire for wholeness, and the desire for, before it was, you know,
Mhm.
embodied, like,
Right.
incarnated. So sometimes we just have a really, like, love is a very wild thing
Mhm.
chemically, and
Yeah.
then on a human level. So I guess I would say, like, there's a lot of healing that happens inside those new experiences,
Mhm.
and learning how to trust yourself would probably be the most
Mhm.
um important move to make. And that could be just finding a pause in the
Mhm.
you know and really holding yourself tenderly, connecting to yourself in the way of, like, that I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out, and it's enough, and I
Mhm.
trust myself that I'll breathe in again and I'll breathe out, and I got me.
Mhm.
And if heartbreak were to happen again, I survived before and I'll survive again.
Right.
I'm not speaking to, like, violence and abuse, of
Sure.
course. I'm speaking to the risk of just being in that depth of
Sure.
connection.
Yeah.
And we do, I think a lot of people want to go in there and connect deeply.
Mhm.
They say you marry your unfinished business. And so there's going to be heartbreak, and there's even inside of, like, real good juicy things.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'd say, like, have you done the recovery work around the betrayals?
Mhm.
Have you rebuilt the relationship with yourself?
Right.
And typically it's like, have you forgiven yourself for having, breached your own boundaries?
Mhm.
Have you learned to sit with yourself? And and a lot of times we're like, yeah. And then you
I
meet.
was never the problem.
Well, that's usually what we, and there's sometimes that's true.
Right. Yeah.
And then the other time is like we're like great when we're not dating, but then we
Mhm.
get into dating and it's like, damn, all this
Why
stuff's
do I
right
suck?
back here. It's
Yeah.
all still here.
Right.
And all of this stuff that we talk about and all of these practices, and I feel like where we're moving next inside the practices is relational skill building.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the problem that we're facing now, is we have so much rupture and no repair. We have
Mm.
no ability to sit with the other when the other isn't in absolute agreement with us. And
Right.
so mindfulness is incredible. Therapy is incredible, but that's highly individualistic.
Yeah.
And we're doing all of this self help. And there's no, like, well, how do I take it into connection and into
How do we do
relationship?
community help?
Yeah, how
Yeah.
do we move towards the we?
Mhm.
And how are all of these practices connected to each other? I In every one of my yoga classes, I always end it with, may it leak into our homes and our neighborhoods, our
Mhm.
communities, both local and global, and may all beings know peace, no exceptions, right? Like,
Mhm.
how are we? Like, I feel good.
All beings know peace unless they're Republican and they're far right,
Yeah, right?
But
I mean,
yeah.
that's what I mean, that's my when in my head, that's no when I say no exceptions, those are
Mhm.
that is where I'm going towards in my heart
Sure.
of like, I've may they also know peace.
Mhm.
Um,
Because wouldn't it all be a lot better if we all did?
right,
Yeah.
right? And that doesn't mean in agreement. It
Right.
just means, within the exception of harm. But
Yep.
so yes, this person's heartbreak is heartbreaking. And
Mm.
I know well and good heartbreak and
And that's such a low feeling. It is such a low feeling.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, desperate
Mhm.
feeling, alone. Yeah.
Lonely. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It
And
is.
and
It really
opening
is.
and
It's grief. I mean, you're going it's a
it is.
death. It's a death.
Yep.
Heartbreak is a death and
Yep.
we don't bounce out of it
No.
in like, yeah,
No, and there's something wrong with you if you do.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot, I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
every
you didn't
situation is
experience
different.
heartbreak,
Right.
but
Right. Yeah, if you
no,
felt
if
great, that's not called heartbreak. That's
no.
called getting out of
Yeah.
something you should have never been
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to their heart and to the question, thank you for writing in.
Mhm.
Thank you for letting us break it down.
Yeah.
The biggest piece for me in heartbreak recovery has been that I've got my back. Like I
Mhm.
got me. And if these things were to happen or if I were to see these things, I can trust myself to take right action and to tend to myself and to take care of me.
Yeah. So there's something in here that I wanted to sort of dig into a little bit, and there's something about, and there's no offense intended here to the writer of this question. The line, I keep catching myself assuming people will leave me,
Uh,
ghost me, betray me. I'm feeling a bit of and again, this is no offense intended here, but a bit of a victim mentality where leave me.
mm.
Well, if you're dating, you both have the right to leave. Now, ghosting, that's pretty rude.
Ugh! I got ghosted once
Yeah.
before cell phones. That was the worst.
Yeah. A lot of the things that we just talked about on opening oneself up to um, trust after betrayal is very internal. It's not. I mean, nothing that you just said was. Well, make sure you look for someone that has like values. Make sure that you're don't use Tinder. Use this.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
it may
yeah.
be. It's not like practical because
Okay.
that's going to differ for no matter who you're
Mhm.
obviously, but
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
let's
Is it
so yeah, yeah.
does
So
anything strike a chord
yeah,
with
so
you in that?
when we project, it's a defensive strategy,
Defensive, yes.
right? So um and what that defensive strategy is doing is protecting you from feeling those feelings and sometimes from seeing where you have. So, in let's say betrayal, and or they're going to ghost me. Where have I ghosted me?
Mhm,
Where have I abandoned me?
mhm,
Where have I left me? So those are and I'm not saying like again, do it in your mind. I'm saying when we're looking at like what's projection and those fears come up, the work isn't in picking like it is in picking the person.
mhm.
There's some stuff there too,
Sure.
but I'm not that's not my lane. My lane
Right.
is working with what's right here,
Yeah.
and that's who I have access to, and that's your mind.
You're
So
not Dr. Ruth or whatever her
yeah,
name
I'm not
was, right?
talking about the other, I'm talking about the me in it,
Yeah.
right? So those are the questions, and that's how projection operates.
Mhm.
It's almost like the shadow, the
Yeah.
projection, right? It's incredible that you've got this protector who's like, I'm looking for that
Yeah.
jerk that's
What are
gonna
you gonna do
ghost
to
me.
me?
Yeah,
What are you
and
gonna
it's
do
like,
to me? Not anything about what am I gonna potentially
but that takes some
do to you
strong
or
a strong
myself.
sense of ego.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm asking someone like, and I mean ego in the way of, like,
Yeah.
a sense of self, a
Yep.
sense of resilience, a
Mhm.
sense of, like, I
The
can look at,
actual definition of ego, not the
yeah, like, not the culture of,
egotistical.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, not that way of
Yep.
it, but, like, if I'm going to say to someone with nuance, but the question that is being asked, those can be projections, and if they're projections and they ask, "How do I know if it's a projection?" Then it's worth asking, like, "When have I abandoned myself?
Mm.
When did I leave myself?" If I'm focusing on the other, the other, the other, we're going to feel powerless, and
Mhm.
then we're going to feel the victim.
Mhm.
And I like not victim mentality. I don't use that because
Yeah.
we are victims, but sometimes if we get
There's
into
a lack of
archetypes,
vocabulary on my
oh
part.
my god,
So
I'm such
yeah.
a near jerk on that. But
Yeah.
I do like this. I do love archetypes.
Yeah.
And so if we look at a victim archetype,
Mhm.
sometimes we do have a bit of what I would call, like, for me, it feels like a possession of, like, victim archetype of,
Mhm.
like, I'm wearing that suit for longer than the thing
Mhm.
has gone on. And usually then it's in avoidance of the shadow.
Mhm.
Like, this is the operator back here is like, I don't want to look how I left myself. I don't want to look at where I've been ghosted.
Mhm.
Or even going back further and, and being like, ooh, and it hits that little thing way back here of
Mhm.
what dad did, or,
Right. Yeah.
Um, so yes, I think that you pose a really important perspective to offer.
Mhm.
And those questions are pretty great to sit down with a pen
Yeah.
and be with, because that's where the forgiveness comes
Right.
into. That's where the self-compassion comes. That's where the love and the lesson gets, because now you're in a new relationship and you find yourself self-abandoning.
Mhm.
We find ourselves agreeing to things that we don't really want to agree to, and we're
Right.
back in that I'm ghosting.
Right.
He's not I'm ghosting me.
Right. I just left myself on red.
To right, so that
Yeah.
I can connect with this new one that really turns me on.
Right.
And then we go, "Oh,
That was stupid.
shoot, hot
Yeah.
and stupid."
And the dumbass. Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna ghost myself, I'm
Right.
not gonna abandon myself. Dang
Right.
it, I'm leaving me again.
Right.
And that is hard business, harder,
Mhm.
honestly, especially if we were raised with any bit of that and in our
Mhm.
culture and in niceness and in all of those things. It's so, ooh, it's
Mhm.
hard to be like, oh yes, I'm going to prioritize. And it's not like self-love and bath bombs. It's like, oh, I can feel that piece of, like, I'm gonna go tend to my thing or do
Yeah.
the thing I want to do.
Mhm.
And in like my practice with people, my teaching with people, it's like more Laura, more Jeff.
Mm.
If you find yourself with less Laura in relationship, then I know, like, oh, I'm doing the thing of
Yeah.
betrayal.
I'm betraying myself here.
Right.
Right.
So I it's easy for me, like, I can't trust you.
Mhm.
Where can I trust me?
Right.
I
But it also doesn't mean just take the blame for everything
Oh,
too,
hell no. No,
because
no, no, no.
there's a lot
Because
of
then the next thing is skill.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
this thing's happening. Let me check it. Let me
Right.
see. Let me talk
Let's
to you
see.
about it.
Let's
And if
yeah.
they're like,
In right relationship, you're able to have that, and you're both aware enough, and
and scared enough and still
yeah,
act on it, still be
yeah,
like, I'm going to
yeah.
say the scary thing or I'm going to be the goofy self. I mean,
Right.
because sometimes it's not the scary stuff. It's more like the goofy, fun,
Mhm.
quirky, the parts that you think are just ridiculous
Mhm.
that you leave, you
Mm.
know?
Not me. Those are the parts that I push out front.
Are they?
Oh yeah, ask my wife.
I love that. I love that. I did see you dancing on stilts,
Yeah,
by the way,
I know.
which then
Can we
brings
speak to
us
that?
to the thing of if we could just cut you in to this podcast
Right.
and, like, the video of you dancing on
Yeah.
stilts. It's legit.
Well, here's
You
the thing.
dance.
If I
If
suppose
you listen to the
I suppose
podcast,
I do dance if I have a mask on.
and on stilts.
On stilts, yeah.
If you have the mask on, would you still dance if you weren't on stilts?
I might have.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
that's so,
Were you
I,
proud of me?
I'm excited for you.
No, were you proud of me is what I asked.
I don't really do that word. I don't know how to relate to that word.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Um, I try not to use the word proud
Why?
because I don't know. It's such a good question. It just doesn't land on me. It lands on me and I don't know. I don't
So
know.
then what do you feel when you see somebody that pushed themselves out of their comfort zone in a way that you felt was healthy and good, and or if you see somebody that you care about succeed?
I'm so excited. I'm so I think the word is like mudita. It's like my joy and your joy. I get a feeling of excitement, and maybe that's the word people use for
Yeah,
pride,
maybe.
but I get the feeling of excitement
Mhm.
for your excitement. I think pride sometimes feels like its own, like I get to have an ownership
Ah,
of your,
okay.
like as if I
If that's what
impacted.
if and I'm not saying that this is wrong, but if that's what trips or triggers in your brain when you hear the word proud, that somehow you're
Yeah, like when I
taking some
was,
level of ownership of that thing, like, I told you you could do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm the one who knew,
yeah,
and I said that it
yeah.
then yeah, I can see that not connecting. I'm right
Hmm.
there with you. I think what comes to me is it's a shared joy in what you did
Mm,
because I knew, or I know that connects with me too.
yeah,
Like, oh, I'm so proud of you that you ran that race if I'm a runner. Like,
yeah.
I'm so proud that you did that. It's just another word for what you just
Yeah, I
explained,
don't
but
know
yeah.
why. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Like
No.
you can say it and I'm not like,
Here you go.
that's not the right
We don't
definition.
use that
I don't
word.
use the word proud. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
A little, I'm
You
doing
did
that
that just a
proudly.
little bit. It's okay. At least
I'm
we cleared it
sorry.
up.
And I'm
I just
really,
want people to be proud of me.
oh, I mean, that's probably why I don't do it either.
Why?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
people want you to
Okay,
do it.
speaking of speaking of things that if you listen to the podcast, you know, Jeff doesn't dance. We also don't do things that people ask us to do.
We very
And
much push against that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then Nathan and I are at the incredible Mumford and Sons concert. We're having so much fun. And he says, "Everybody clap." And I'm like, and I
Nope.
look and I look over at Nathan and he's got his hands crossed too. And I was like, we don't do what people tell us to do.
I love that so
And
much.
I could not get myself to be like in rhythm with
Yes.
everyone
Yes.
clapping. No, I
No.
couldn't.
I'm
And I just get to
I
giggle at it.
man, I relate to that so
You
much.
know?
I like nope, not gonna do it.
And I don't, it's not like a hyper independence thing. It's just like,
I
it
just don't
may
want to
be,
do that
I,
because
you're telling me
I
to do
wanted
it.
to I maybe wanted to clap if you didn't,
I probably would have
and if we
clapped.
all collectively started clapping without you saying that,
I probably would have,
it's
but
likely that I
yeah,
would have probably joined
I
in.
know, I know.
So
Oh,
shut the hell up and let
no.
me clap.
Part of me was like, should I clap just to like counter my feeling of not wanting to do what people are telling me to do? And I was like, no,
But
I
now I
like
kind of
my,
feel stupid if I start clapping.
I just, yeah, it would feel organic.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
This wouldn't be an
organic.
honest clap.
Well, it
It's
reminds
not
me,
coming from
it kind of
here.
reminds me of like, have you ever had it when, like, a situation where someone's like, you're like getting ready to say a joke or something funny, and you're like, oh, I've got something funny, and but then someone's like, okay, go ahead and say it now. Like now you're on the spot kind of, and they're going, say the
Yeah.
funny thing, funny man.
Yeah,
Say the
no.
funny thing. Like, well, even if it was funny, that moment has passed.
Yeah.
So now you just told me to clap, and it's like,
Mm.
if I clap now, I'm clapping because you told me to clap,
Yeah.
not because I
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah. I
And
know.
even if I wanted
Right.
to clap, now
To control
are you
autonomy.
are you gonna be proud of me if I clap?
Because I don't do
Is
proud either.
proud, pride,
Yeah.
ill.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
That's funny.
Thinkers.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope we answered
I
our
think we
friend's
did.
question. I really appreciate the inquiry and the reaching out. And yeah, well done.
Yep.
Well done for also entering back in and staying open and curious.
Yeah. I agree. If anyone has any thoughts on what we've said or wants to give us some love on social media or something like that, we would love that. We like emails, mail.sowhatwhocares@gmail.com. Until next time, have a good life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, Laura.
Bye, Jeff.
Hope you find your dad.